we will definitely not shut up and dribble. I would definitely not do that. I mean too much to society. I mean too much to the youth. I mean too much to the to so many kids that feel like they don't have a way out.
Objectively speaking, NBA star LeBron James has shown how much he cares about justice and community. Meanwhile,
but what did LeBron James, one of the most famous and influential people in the world, do today? He posted that officer's picture on social media and said, "You're next." I mean, that is the kind of incitement to violence against police officers that is revolting.
The right latched on to this, but LeBron's post was about accountability with policing. Still.
Now, LeBron James later took down that statement, but you can't erase the kind of terrible judgment that shows, especially when it comes from someone who is so deeply in bed with the Chinese Communist Party, yet he will slander his fellow citizens.
This is a rather funny line that folks like Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton should not run.
The New York Times, breaking news within the last hour in their continuing series of reporting based on the president's tax returns and financial documents that they obtained. According to the Times tonight, President Trump has a previously undisclosed bank account in China. Trump became president. All of a sudden, there was this huge new unexplained influx of money into that company with this Chinese bank account. He took $15.1 million of it out for himself in 2017. Once he was president.
Why is the right completely silent on this? Because they can attack Adam Silver and LeBron James. So behind the scenes, they can enable or even partake like former President Donald Trump did.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
The senator from Arkansas intentionally asked ridiculous questions such as these so he could appear tough and get praise from right-wing media, which reminds us.
That reminds me, also joining us is a congressman from New York named Steve Israel. That's right, he's from New York, and his name is Israel. Now there's pandering, and then there's pandering. That's like having a congressman from South Carolina named Jesus H. Gunn.
The name's Gunn. Jesus H. Gunn, I tell you.
Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is facing criticism for describing slavery as a, quote, necessary evil.
O'Brien, though, wouldn't be alone in his hilarious critiques.
Senator Tom Cotton got 47 other senators to sign an open letter he wrote to Iran. And I guess the most surprising thing is that a guy named Tom Cotton is a U.S. senator and not a rabbit from an old racist Disney cartoon.
Oh, please, Brer Bear, don't throw old Tom Cotton in the briar patch.
Good accent. Now, in Tom Cotton's defense, he was just trying to repair America's strained relationship with Israel. But you know what? He doesn't need to worry about that. Our relationship will be better in the next administration, just as soon as Israel makes a generous donation to the Clinton Foundation. True or true?
SNL alum Cecily Strong would weigh in as well.
What the president can do is say that justice will be done in accordance with law for George Floyd, and we will always respect the right of peaceful protest, as many of these cities saw in the daytime. But the rioting, the anarchy, and the looting ends tonight. If local law enforcement is overwhelmed, if local politicians will not do their most basic job to protect our citizens, let's see how these anarchists respond when the 101st Airborne is on the other side of the street.
And you're a guy from the infantry. You know what an organized opposition is, and this seems to be an organized opposition.
An insane, unconstitutional take on the 2020 summer protests. However, this guy suddenly likes peaceful protest.
People of color have been targeted by police. If we have these conversations, there's a better understanding where both sides are coming from. And if we reach common ground and can understand what everybody's going through, we can really affect change and make sure that everybody's treated equally and has the same freedom.
So he was okay with this guy, right? Well, no. No, he was not.
So where does this cancel culture take us? What is the logical conclusion? What is the end of the cancel culture? I will tell you what it is. It is right here in this city, Washington, the District of Columbia. That's where it will end if we don't put an end to the madness now. Just up the mall is the Washington Monument. Are we going to tear the Washington Monument down? Are we going to rename it the Obelisk of Wokeness? Up the hill is the Washington National Cathedral, where so many times we have gathered as a nation over the years to mourn our great leaders, to pray for God's protection and deliverance in moments of national strife and struggle. Are we going to rename the Washington National Cathedral the Temple of Reason, as the Jacobins did to Notre Dame during the French Revolution? And what are we going to call this city? Can't call it Washington. Can't call it Columbia. Got to come up with new names all around.
Cedarville.
Because I will say this, the cancel culture, whether in its Maoist or its Jacobin forms, ultimately is animated by a single idea, that America, at its core, is fundamentally irredeemable and wicked.
Think about how insane it is that a person who is voted into office goes on the Senate floor as a prominent lawmaker that rakes in millions of dollars a year through their corporate donors and wastes our time with this. However, if he really thinks cancel culture is quite bad,
we ought to boycott Geico.
And Nabisco leaving Chicago with their big plant, they're moving to Mexico. I'm not eating Oreos anymore, you know that.
What I think you ought to do is boycott Apple. So many people are boycotting Macy's. I love it.
President Trump backing a big boycott of one of America's most iconic brands. It's the latest in the ongoing dispute between the president and Harley Davidson.
Did you read about Starbucks? No more Merry Christmas on Starbucks. No more. Maybe we should boycott Starbucks. I don't know.
It's not lost on us that he's arguably one of the founders of cancel culture. President Trump is calling for a boycott of Goodyear after an employee complained the company wouldn't allow him to wear a MAGA hat to work. The president today tweeting to his supporters not to buy Goodyear tires and arguing this is his chance to fight back against the cancel culture of the left.
maybe look inward, Senator. Inward. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/tytsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.